your 2 cents on Tua getting paid and his performance in week 1, maybe based on the pressure he might be putting on himself, unless you think that's insignificant, Richard?
No, definitely not insignificant. I mean, when you get paid, there's so much pressure on you because regardless of how you played before, people are going to have an opinion about how you play after. And they're going to say, hey, he's not as hungry. He's not preparing the same way. If you don't come in shape, like he doesn't care as much. He doesn't have the same passion. He's not as hungry. And the biggest storyline, obviously, that everybody knew was just how Tyreek was going to respond to the adversity and the chaos that he dealt with earlier in that day. And now Calais Campbell is saying they put him in cuffs too. And, that's such a distraction for a team on game day, especially the best player on your team getting put in handcuffs. And then the rest of the team, as a human being, people are like, oh, man, how's my fantasy going to do? And how's this going to do? As a human being, you're like, bro, it's stressful. I'm sure that was like a stressful ordeal. He's getting embarrassed publicly right at the stadium. Everybody's coming to watch with probably his jersey on, and he has to deal with this and then go to the stadium and try to put it all to the side, put it all behind him, get motivated for this game, get locked in, and perform at a really high level. I mean, that's really tough to do, and you got to take your hat off to him because he was able to do that and not only execute but really blow this game open late with that 80-yard touchdown. And it was cool that, the celebration and everything was hilarious because the touchdown was so long, he had to wait for the crowd was pretty much done. Everybody was ready for the field goal by the time he was celebrating. But that was a really cool moment, I thought. And I love how he downplayed it and didn't attack anybody, didn't try to make it more of a situation than it was. But as a human being, I felt for him.
Well, in terms of that, just so you're aware, this just happened in the last 5 minutes. Per Jeff Darlington of ESPN, Tyreek received 2 citations, careless driving and a seatbelt violation. And Calais Campbell, who said that police briefly detained him for disobeying a direct order, did not end up receiving a citation. What were your thoughts when you heard about this story, first blush, on Sunday, Richard?
I didn't know. You know what I mean? You try not to be knee-jerk reaction to things like that because, you get a 8-second clip of Tyreek getting arrested on the ground on the hot pavement in Miami. You're like, I think whatever he did, I think there's a better way to do it. I think there's a better way. You don't have to put him face down on the concrete in Miami. I don't know how hot it was, but I'm guessing it was really hot. And so then you see another clip of a guy kind of leaving his bike and kind of roughing him up a little bit. And you're like, was that really necessary? I don't think so. It didn't look like it was necessary, but I also don't have the full scope. So I can't, pass judgment. But you got a seatbelt violation means you're just kind of being an a-hole. I don't remember anybody. When's the last time you heard of somebody getting a seatbelt violation, Rich? I don't know even did you see him without a seatbelt on and that's what you pulled him over for? And now it's reckless driving. How recklessly can you be driving in game day traffic? I just don't see you driving too recklessly. Have you ever been in game day traffic? You can't go more than 5, 6 miles, 10 miles an hour. Where is he going to go? And that's perfectly fine. You can cite him, but do you need to put him in handcuffs to write him a citation? Do you need to put him face down on a pavement to write him a citation? I don't think you do. And so I think they said something about the officer getting put on administrative duties or something.
Yes.
And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. You don't want to see Tyreek put in that situation. You don't want to see the cops put in that situation. They're just trying to do their job and keep people safe, which you respect. It's a hard job. You got to do it. But just certain aspects of it just didn't make sense. Putting him on the hot pavement, I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, he is. That's what Jeff Darlington of ESPN is saying, that one of the officers on the scene remains on administrative duty. And that had to have been the sole conversation in the locker room before the game, right? On the field, too. Both teams,
right? I
imagine, for sure.
Right. No question. I mean, it has to be, and that's a distraction. On game day, it's hard enough to win football games when all you're focusing on is football. And so I'm sure when we get on the desk on TNF tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, I'm sure it's going to be another topic of conversation because I'm sure a little bit more light is going to be shed on it. A little bit more information is going to be out there. Maybe the dash cam or the body cam footage is going to be out. And it's an unnecessary distraction for a team, especially when you're working traffic around the stadium. It's not like he got arrested far away. He got arrested right near the stadium. And so At that point, if you're an officer, I'm sure it's up to your discretion to say, hey, we're going to write you a ticket. I know you got to go, but hey, you were driving too crazy. I'm sorry to bother you on game day. Well, I'm not sorry because you shouldn't be driving crazy. Write you a citation and let him go on about his day. I just don't. I really want to hear the conversation about how he's face down on the pavement.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.